Hello students, my name is Gaurav Bansal and we are going to start the topic of money. The money is an important topic, and in past we have seen many past PT questions from this topic, and the questions were of the nature of the types of money. Okay, the question would be of whether this is fiduciary money, fiat money, or we have seen some questions regarding M0, M1, M2 also. Okay, so long ago such questions also used to come. Now, recently it has become important for mains also. Why? Because of demonetization. So since demonetization, we have been expecting that they may ask a question on money supply. And now the demonetization has happened again because of the 2000 rupee note. So demonetization has made it to news again. So they may ask you even on the 2016 demonetization now, or about the 2000 rupee note demonetization, both PT and mains questions. So now let us look at the money. And in this session, what are we going to do? First of all, we will understand the evolution of money very briefly. Then after we have understood evolution, we will look at the types of money. Then after types of money, we will look into the features of money. And then we will look into role of money. Okay, and after the role of money, we will look into the measurement, and ultimately we will look into the question of 2000 rupee note. So this is what we are essentially going to cover in this very small session. So first of all, let us talk about evolution. So money is a very important invention, just like the discovery of fire or invention of wheel. It is on those lines because it created civilization. The civilization could not have happened without money. The system that was there before money-based exchange, that was barter. Essentially, we shifted from barter to money-based exchange. And by the way, what is money? If we very briefly and for very easy understanding want to talk about it, money is something which helps people to buy other things. That is how a layman understand money, that you need it in order to buy other things. And in more formal way, we can call it medium of exchange. Okay, so from barter, we shifted to money-based exchange. That has been the evolution. Now, when it was evolved, we found that it gave us many advantages over barter. What kind of advantages money gave over barter? The barter had following problem. First of all, the barter requires dual coincidence of need. Okay, what is dual coincidence of need? It means that if you want to buy something from me, I also need to have a need of what you have brought. Now, in order to understand that, let us use an example that will help you to understand it clearly. Let us say we have barter exchange system. That means, as I'm teaching here, as you want to get taught by me or you want to learn from me, then I will provide you service, but in exchange you do not give fee or you do not deposit money. Rather, you bring what you have. So somebody might bring wheat, somebody might bring a goat, somebody might bring a coat. So whatever your families produce, you will bring those products. Traditionally, that is how trade used to happen. Okay. So exchanging product to product or service to a product or service to service. That is how people used to trade. That I will do this for you, you will do this for me. Even today it happens to some extent, but largely we do money-based exchange. So there was a problem that there was dual coincidence of need. Now, if somebody wants to bring wheat, what is the problem there? That I also need to have wheat. If I do not need wheat, then we cannot have this transaction. Okay. So for example, already from 50 students have accepted wheat. And now I have more than what I need. I will not take more wheat further because I have no use of it. I would rather like to have clothes. I would rather like to have other food products or other things. So now I will prefer those students who will bring those products. So what it has done, it has reduced the scope of trade. With money, the scope of trade is wide. That is why trade increased manifold, and that enabled the civilization. Okay, without trade, you can't create cities, you can't create towns. And without trade, you can't even have specialization. If we do not trade with each other, then we have to produce everything that we need. But it is money which enables us to buy other things. For example, I teach here. That means I do not do farming. I do not grow my food. I do not produce my clothes. So it is in this manner that I operate. Okay. If there would be pure barter system, or if there is no trade, then what I have to do? I have to grow my food also. I have to grow my clothes. Produce my clothes also. I have to teach, whatever I have to do everything. Then I can't become specialist in one area. And that is the feature of a traditional society, not civilization. In civilization, people do specialized tasks. Now we have understood the need of money very well. Let us move forward quickly. Over barter, how money is an improvement? First is dual coincidence of need, which is eliminated by money. Then barter has another problem, need to carry product. For example, you want to use wheat for payment. Now, wheat is not something you can carry in pocket. You are not going to give 100 grams of wheat in payment to someone. Okay, so all of you can understand that would be ridiculous. You can't buy much for that. So you have to carry tons of it if you want to buy something big. And that means your ability to carry wheat is very limited. That means you can trade in limited area. But with money, that problem is also not there. So that also expands the trade. The third problem is divisibility. Divisibility is also a problem. Okay. So in barter, divisibility of product. For example, you are shepherd. You have sheep. Okay. Your family maintains sheep, and you exchange sheep for other product. Now, let us say you want to buy 1 kg of salt. You can't get 1 kg of salt basically because if you have sheep for payment, one sheep will have much higher value, not 1 kg of salt. If you need only 1 kg of salt, you can't give entire sheep for it. Okay. Since you can't give entire sheep, you can't get 1 kg of salt. You will buy much more than 1 kg then. You may not need that much. So that is also a problem. Sometimes trade is not possible, particularly in cattle, because cattle are not divisible, and many other products sometimes may not be divisible. So that was the problem in barter. So money gave us solution over all these problems. And in PT, they can ask you very well about the limitation of barter. Okay, that is very much a possible area of question. Now let us move to the next one. This is types of money on which questions have come. Okay, so what are the types of money? The first is commodity money. So initially when we started using money, it was not the paper currency that we use now. It used to be valuable materials. So wheat, for example, was a popular mode of payment. Gold, of course, was very popular. And in many cases, salt, 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 you understand, basic salt, that was also a very preferred mode of payment. And by the way, do you know there is a term salary? All of us, you know, of course. You work somewhere and you get salary in exchange generally. So monthly salary is what people get in exchange of their work. The word salary has come from salt itself, because in the Greek and Roman times, the soldiers were paid salt and the Romans called it sol, S-A-L. Okay. And from there, the salary as a term came into being. Nonetheless, let's move forward. This was just an interesting trivia here. So salt was also a medium of exchange, by the way. All such things would be commodity money. So commodity money is a very important type. Today, it is not so popular, not so much used, because what we have today, we have fiat money. Okay. So first is commodity money, second is fiat money. What is fiat money? Fiat money is the legal money which government authorizes that this is our currency, this is our national money or currency. And what is the feature of fiat money? How do you distinguish between fiat and other money? Nobody in that economy can refuse to take fiat money. Nobody can refuse to accept payment in that. Okay, nobody can tell you that you can't pay me in this denomination. That is legally wrong. You can file a case over that person. It is not allowed. Okay, if some rickshaw wala refuse to take 10 rupee coins, sometimes they do, then you can, if you really are daring to do so, then you can explain them, this is illegal, you have to accept it. They may not still agree, that's a different thing. Nonetheless, let's move ahead. So commodity money, fiat money is the legal money. So currency, coin, paper currency and coin, that is the fiat money. Is check a fiat money? Okay. Is check a fiat money? The answer is no. Check is not a fiat money. Why? Because the other party, the other person has no legal binding requirement or legally binding requirement to accept check from you. That is why. Okay, so check would be bank money. We will come to it little later here. The third type of money is fiduciary money. Fiduciary means by trust. So fiduciary money means any mode of payment which people trust, which people accept. So that is fiduciary money. Example is Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin people accept because they believe Bitcoin is valuable. Okay, otherwise it has no legal backing. Bitcoin is example of fiduciary money. Or any other digital currency, by the way. Okay, now my question is, if RBI launches the CBDC or e-rupee for common public, will it be fiduciary money or fiat money? Because CBDC is also digital currency. So is e-rupee going to be fiduciary money or fiat money? This is a possible question in exam. Here it will be fiat money because it will be legally acceptable. It will be legally required for other people to accept. Okay, so fiat money is legal binding. We define it by legally defined money, whereas fiduciary is only just acceptable. So not all digital currency have to be fiduciary. If it is issued by state and recognized by them, authorized by them, then they can be fiat also. Fiat means the will of the government. Okay, the will. So now the fourth type of money is bank money. What is bank money? In order to buy things in market, I do not have to carry currency and cash in my pocket. Okay, when you go to market, do you carry entire cash? Okay, for example, you are going to market to buy a TV. Will you carry 40,000 rupees cash in your pocket? Not necessarily. And nowadays that tendency is going down. All of you can vouch for that. Okay, we have seen a lot of change in last 15 years. So what do you pay with? You pay with check, you pay with UPI, you pay with NEFT, you pay with any other mode of digital payment. Now that is bank's money. Okay, bank money is created by fiat money which is in your account. Okay, this is the difference between bank money and fiduciary. Fiduciary money which is acceptable, bank money which is created from fiat money. Okay, so bank money is a bit different. You keep money in your account and from that you get the purchasing power. So it is as good as money. Money in your account, savings account, current account, that is as good as cash in your pocket. You can make a payment with that any time, anywhere. With UPI, with a debit card, with an EFT, with RTGS or IMPS or any other way. So we have understood very briefly what is bank money. And it is bank money which creates money multiplier. Towards the end of it, we'll talk about money multiplier also. Now let us move ahead. So far we have understood the evolution of money and the types of money. I hope you are writing down. Okay, some of it will dictate also. But so far it is quite straightforward and objective and you can jot down as I'm explaining. Next is features of money. Now, features of money is basically a question about what thing or what product what asset can be accepted as money. Okay. For example, wheat was used as money, salt was used as money, gold is used as money. So why not fish? Why not wood? Why not other things? Why these were particularly common? Silver also, or precious metals. Okay. Why not diamond, by the way? Diamond is never used as money, okay, anywhere. So anything which has to be used as money, or any money, need to have some features. Otherwise, you do not use that as a money, or it would not be popular as money. So in the features of money, we need to understand that money needs to have the following feature. First of all, acceptability. The product that you're going to give people, or that thing that you want to give others, should have acceptability. Now, bitcoins are enhancing their acceptability. In many countries now, they are recognized also. One of the country also legally recognized Bitcoin and accepted them, gave them a status of fiat money. Try to identify that country. Okay, that would be very small assignment for you, very small assignment. Okay, and try to identify how it affected its economy. In the next session, I will discuss it with you. But first of all, do some brainstorming. So one thing is acceptability. Whatever should be used as money must be acceptable. The fiat money is acceptable because that is legally recognized. And there are other reasons why other things are recognized. Almost everybody eat wheat, almost everybody, okay, or rice, okay, so they are used as money and they have decent shelf life also. So apart from acceptability, shelf life is also important. That is why fish can't be used as money, because fish has a very small life. So it should have a shelf life, it should have acceptability. Nowadays, we do not use food products anyways for money. So this is bit of a traditional point, not much of relevant, but acceptability is relevant even today because newer types of money keep coming to the market. And by the way, due to bitcoins, due to the digital currency and the fungible tokens, etc., this topic of money is very relevant, and from this we do expect questions because all of this is now being redefined because of these new inventions. So now in the features of money, apart from acceptability and shelf life, what do we have? That is divisibility. Okay, so they should be broken down into small units. These are the features of money. Not a very conceptual topic, but still as a PT question it can be asked and you need to be aware of it. Let us move ahead to the next topic, which is more relevant, more analytical. What is the role of money in society? What is the role of money? Okay, so money, we have already discussed. The main reason money emerged was transaction. Transaction or trade is the top reason why we use money, and this is one of its biggest role, that it enables and enhances the trade or transactions. Secondly, money is used as store of wealth. So in the traditional societies, how people used to store their wealth? For example, in West Asia, the wealth was stored in form of camels, sheep. Okay. In India, traditionally, the wealth has been always displayed or expressed in terms of ownership of land or cattle. Okay, in the very traditional society, that this person is rich because he has 500 cows or she has 500 cows and let us say 200 acres of land. So these kind of examples we do read in our historical text or Puranas, that wealth was defined in terms of ownership of resources. Nowadays, we do not define it in terms of ownership of resources. Nowadays, we define it in terms of your bank balance. Okay, when you want to know how well of a person is, what do you want to know? That how much is that person's bank balance? Okay, property ownership is still relevant, but other things are almost gone now. Okay, those are not very relevant in modern society. In some countries, we still do have the traditional methods being prevalent. For example, Barack Obama once said that my father's entire wealth when he left Kenya, that was only 13 goats, and he sold them and he left. So something like that he said. So they used to define wealth in goats. But now in modern society, in most of the urbanized areas or decent to do economy, mainstream economies, we define wealth as bank balance, asset ownership. Okay, that is how we define. Then what is the next role of money apart from these two? And that is, money is very important as unit of accounting. Okay. So what is unit of accounting? Your accounts are in certain units. That I deposited 50,000 rupee in my bank account. I received 20,000 rupees as payment. In my home, I am keeping 2 lakh rupees. Just think about it. Because it is same unit everywhere, how easy it is to add up things or subtract things. In the traditional system, how they used to do it? They used to write, okay, I have 200 cows. This much of wheat I received in exchange of 1 cow. This much of cloth I received in exchange of 1 cow. How difficult that accounting system would be. Very, very difficult to operate. Hence, the financial systems could not emerge out of it. So that is broadly the role of money. There can be more, but for our purpose, that is enough. So we have understood the role of money also. Now let us go to the measurement part, which is a bit technical, but nonetheless interesting. So when we measure money, we talk about two aspects: demand for money, which we generally do not measure much or focus on much, and supply of money. So people demand money for what purposes? For transaction purposes, okay, to meet their expenditures, to meet day-to-day requirement. Okay, this is the money you keep in your wallet. Then you generally keep some extra cash in order to meet some unexpected expenditure. To meet unexpected expenditure. Okay, then you can keep extra money in your banks as wealth. Generally, this is the demand for money. Not a very relevant or very important topic, but in order to complete, we should at least have a glance at every topic. Okay, at least should give a passing reference to it. I hope you have written it down. Okay, in case you have not, I can repeat it. I was a bit quicker in rubbing it. Nonetheless, let us talk about the most important topic in this session, that is supply of money. So when we talk about supply of money, the general division is between narrow money and broad money. Narrow money and the broad money. What is narrow money? What is broad money? Narrow money is the money which is defined from transaction need. Money we keep for transactions, whether emergency or day-to-day. The first two types of demand that I was talking about. That is narrow money. We are defining the money narrowly. The money we keep for transactions. That is narrow. In the broad money, we consider money which is used for transaction plus wealth. Okay, so that would be broad money. And we will easily understand it further when we'll talk about M1, M2, M3, M4. That is where we will try to understand how narrow money is defined in India. Now, let us talk about the measurements. First is M0. What is M0? M0 is base, monetary base. also called H, high powered money. H is a term which is used for high powered money. So it is same as M0. And in order to have better understanding of M0, we should define M0 as RBI liability. So M0 is RBI's liability. Whatever RBI owes is M0. Generally, it measures the cash in the economy. Okay, that is the maximum component of it. That is how we define the monetary base. What your central bank owes to the people. And how do we calculate it? We calculate it as currency in circulation. Currency in circulation plus bankers deposit with RBI plus other deposits with RBI. So all the money that is in circulation is responsibility of RBI. Okay, except the coins or 1 rupee note. So currency in circulation is RBI's liability. In fact, if you pick out a currency note from your pocket, you will see it has signature of RBI governor and they have a liability towards you. So it is RBI's responsibility. So it is their liability. So currency in circulation plus bank keep money in RBI. That money that you take deposit from others is also your liability. So that is also responsibility or liability of RBI. Hence, it will also be part of M0. And lastly, other deposits with RBI. So for example, central government maintains some accounts with RBI. Some state governments naturally have to maintain their accounts with RBI. Then our external account with IMF, with other agencies are also maintained by RBI. So in other deposits, it is these type of money. Okay, so government's money or money from international organizations, that also is RBI's liability because those are deposits in RBI. That creates the monetary base. So this is something that you have to accept with. You have to start with. Okay, and it is easy to remember. See how. Other deposit with RBI, there is a hack to remember it. Other deposit with RBI is there in all the 5 measurement. So you can just simply remember that it is universally present everywhere. So other deposit with RBI will be in all 5. M0, M1, M2, M3, M4. It is part of all of them. That is why you do not have to separately remember where it comes, where it doesn't, since it is universal. And then what do we have? Currency and bank's deposit. Not so difficult to remember now. Okay. Now let us move ahead. Now we come to the M1. So we have seen what is M0. Now look at M1. M1 is currency with public plus demand deposit with bank plus other deposits with RBI. Now I told you this third is everywhere. So this you just remember is everywhere. What is the rest? So M1 is actually the narrow money. M1 measures how much money is there for transaction, which is available with people and which they can spend at any point of time. Okay, that is how we define narrow money. Now think about it, think about yourself. Let us take an example. When you go to market to buy something, with how much money you can buy things? With how much you can purchase the things? What you are carrying in your pocket? Okay. So currency with public. If we add up the currency with every person, basically it will add up to currency with public. So when you go to market, you carry currency in the pocket. In addition, what do you carry? Now you carry mobile phone, and with mobile phones, you effectively carry your bank account. You can make digital payments or you can carry your debit cards. So whatever is in your demand deposits are the savings deposits and the current account deposits. Basically any account from where digital payment can be made or check can be issued. Those are the demand deposits, where you can demand your money back any point of time. That is demand deposit. So it is demand deposit with banks, means it is the money in your savings accounts or current accounts, so that you can pay anytime, anywhere, through check, through digital payment. So that much money you always carry now. Okay, whatever is in your bank account is always accessible for you. Much more ease now is there because of UPI. Check would still take time. Now you can spend it instantaneously. So that is the advantage. Now when you go to market, this much is always there for you with which you can purchase things. So this is the transaction need. Okay, this defines the transaction part of the money. And that is why M1 is narrow. Here we are looking at money which is available for transaction. This you can ignore. This is everywhere and this is basically to complete the equation. So focus on the other two, you will understand what is M1. So M1 is narrow money defined in terms of transactions, available for transaction. What is M2? Now that is not very relevant and important in modern context because that is M1 plus post office savings deposit. M1 plus post office savings deposit. So some people still keep money in post office savings account, and that money is also something they can withdraw when they want. They can go to post office and manually withdraw money. So even that is money available on demand. So even this is also for transaction purpose. So in order to include those people who keep money in post offices, we have this M2. Not otherwise very important. By the way, the difference between M2 and M1 is very little. Okay, ever since the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana and universalization of bank accounts, the money into post offices have gone down. The difference between M1 and M2 has narrowed. Okay, even that can come as a question if they really want you to test you on technicals. So that is M2. Now we come to the official measure. M3 is the broad money. And it is also the official money supply of India. When we say money supply in India is 200 lakh crore. This is the current number, by the way. At present, we have 200 lakh crore rupees of money supply. To be precise, 203. Now, that is broad money. Okay, so when we say this much is money supply, we are talking about broad money. In the broad money, what do we include? Everything that is part of M1. So transaction need money that is there is included, is equal to M1 plus. Here in extra of M1, what do we keep? Money which we have stored as wealth. Okay, so this will also add the wealth part. What is the money that we store as wealth? The money that we keep in the fixed deposits or reoccurring deposits. We call them time deposits. Almost all of you have heard of fixed deposits. Some of you may not have heard of reoccurring deposits. So it's more like SIP, where you deposit money every month instead of depositing money at once. In FD, you deposit money at once. In reoccurring, you deposit regularly. So basically M1 plus time deposit with bank. And since we are adding these to M1, that means it automatically include these. Okay, demand deposit with bank, other deposit with RBI. We are not writing it every time. So this is M3 and it is the official measure. And then we come to the last one, M4, which is again not very, very important in today's context because again it is about post offices. So in M4, what we do, we take M3, which is the broad money, which is basically the money people keep at cash or people keep in their bank accounts. Any type of bank account, all the money, okay, total deposit in banks, that is what we keep in M3. In M4, we keep or we include M3 plus total deposit in post office. Okay, so not that much difficult to remember as you see. You understand this is narrow money, this is broad money. In M2 and M4, you just have to add up the post office part. So that is how you get these figures. Not so difficult. Just revise it 2-3 times, you will easily get it. Okay, there is a way to remember. This third you do not have to remember because it is universally everywhere. And the others are not so easy, not so difficult to remember. This is money you have for transaction. If you add your time deposit, this is the money you have in total. Okay, your total bank balance. And then we add a post office deposits to create M2 and M4. So this is all about M1, M2, M3, M4. Now there is one more thing you got to remember, and that is liquidity order. In order of liquidity, liquidity means how acceptable they are, how quickly you can spend that money. In order of liquidity, we need to understand M0 has highest liquidity, followed by M1, followed by M2, followed by M3, followed by M4. Okay, so this is the order of liquidity of these indicators. So this is all about the measurement here. Now let us talk about the 2000 rupees withdrawal. What is that? I hope you have written it down. Okay. So 2000 rupee note that we have withdrawn, what kind of question can come? That for example, what would be the impact of demonetization on economy? Now in this context, you may answer like that. The 2000 rupee note that we have withdrawn was only 10% of the total money in the economy. Okay, 90% of the money in the economy was in other denomination, means 100 rupee, 500 rupee, 200 rupee, etc. Only 10% of the money was as 2000 rupee notes. So that 2000 rupee note withdrawal is not going to affect 90% of the money in the market. So it will not have much of. Now let us write again 2000 rupees withdrawal. What are the impact? First, not much impact on transaction. Why? Because share of that denomination is less. The share of this denomination is less. Then secondly, we have some digital alternatives. The digital network is now mature. Last time the problem was when we removed the 500 and 1000 rupee note, then they were almost 83% of the total money in the system. Eventually we wiped out 83% of the money from economy. Now we have wiped out 10%. When you wipe out 83% of the money, naturally transactions will be difficult to do. At that time, our digital network was not mature, was not even much existing, okay, was not very infant stage, was at a infant stage. So that is the problem with the earlier demonetization. This time, digital network is mature. If that type of demonetization we would have done today, even that type of demonetization would not have affected too much. It would have affected, but not too much. It would not have affected transactions much because we could deposit that money in bank and with UPI, all of us can get or receive money. That will not be a problem. But what it would affect if we have the 2016 type of demonetization today, what it will affect? It will not affect transaction, but it will create a lot of inconvenience. It will create queues outside bank because people have money, they have to deposit it into bank in order to use that through UPI. So it will create some of inconvenience, but not too much of impact. It will have some decline in economic activity today, but not that much. And 2000 rupee note, not even much of decline. Okay, it is not affecting the transactions also because it was only 10% of the denomination. So that is how you analyze and present argument, depending upon which is the context or what is the context of the question. If we are talking about 2016 demonetization, then you have to argue the digital network was not mature then. That is why we had more problems. Now we have a much significant and one of the best and the biggest digital transaction network in the world. Now let us move ahead. Apart from this, what are the impact? When there is withdrawal of 2000 rupee, what people are going to do? They are going to deposit money in the bank. So bank deposit rise. Okay, so bank deposits increase. This is a big impact, and when the bank deposit increase, what will happen? The banks will try to give out more loans. Bank create more loan, and that will reduce interest rate. Okay, so it has a potential to reduce the interest rate, and that can in fact encourage the demand and investment in today's context. But the interest rate that will reduce, you need to understand that also. It will only be on the short-term loans that they will reduce interest, because this withdrawal is only going to have short-term impact on money supply. In the long run, not much, because people are depositing 2000 rupee, but they will later withdraw the smaller denomination. So this increase in supply is temporary. So bank would like to give very short-term loans, which they can recover quickly. And that is why the reduction in the interest rate will be of short-term. It will not affect long-term demand. So that is how you analyze. We have seen specifically what is the impact of 2000 rupees withdrawal. With this, we've finished this session. And it may have taken just 5 minutes more than what we scheduled, but I think we have analyzed a bigger set of problem, and we have also related it to the current event, and that will really help you to write answers. Thank you. I hope this has helped you.